recording. Tom, Stevie McGrath, 18 points. Get this, he was 7 of 10 from the field.
The guy that no one thinks, he just looks out there, scraggly, 6 foot. What can the kid bring to the table? He brings here stone cold killer heart. That's what he brings to the table.
And you know what? He was 2 for 2 from downtown. 2 for 2.
He doesn't show emotion.
Nope.
But you know what he does? He brings it every day. Just when you think you got him, he lulls you to sleep. Bang. He's got you.
Yep, and he went 2 for 3 from the free throw line. Those were big. He only ended with 1 rebound. He had 2 huge steals, and he had 4 fouls for a long time, and he kept it. Evan Schomer, who became a man-child in that game.
Yes, he did.
Oh, that rebound putback was the biggest of the season so far.
He holding both arms down on him, and 55 is about 240, man, and he's a linebacker. And Evan just said, "You're not going to stop me."
You bet. And he ended with 17 points, 8 of 10 from the field, 1 of 1 from downtown. He missed his only free throw. He ended with only 4 rebounds, but he had a huge assist, a big steal, and a block. Willie ended with 11 points. He shot 50%. He was 3 of 7 from the free throw line. He can hit 7 of 7, or he can hit 2 of 7, and you just never know there. But Willie had 8 assists.
Oh.
8 assists.
What a game.
What a game.
What
is
a
right.
game.
Big Jack, who sat almost the entire second half.
He did.
Because he came out with those fouls, and then he went back in
and
and got
Willie
fouled right away.
out most of the third quarter.
Wow, yes, Willie was.
You had Steve McGrath and your sophomore and Schmitty come to play. Then Schomer just showed up in the fourth quarter and says, "It's time to take it on my back." That's what I've been waiting to see from him.
Yeah, and so Jack ended with 8 points. He was 4 of 6 from the field, hit all of his 2-point attempts, missed his 3-point attempts. He had 2 rebounds.
Hey, and you know what? I'll tell you what else. Cameron Meyer didn't score, but you know what he did? He defended, and he passed.
Yeah, he
hit
did.
Schomer with that pass down there. I don't know how he got it through there.
Yeah, that was his 1 assist, but he did a lot more than what the stats show. Cameron had 3 points, and he was 1 of 2. He only shot 2 times the entire game. We weren't able to get the ball to him, so he couldn't even get in his rhythm, but he didn't stop playing, and Coach went with that offense-defense at the end there.
Did we just win the game?
I
feel like I've been through on the treadmill.
Game. That was huge. Now let's talk about Dylan Patrick. Dylan Patrick, he had quite a game. 8 points. He was 2 of 4. He hit 1 of 3 3-pointers, 3 of 5 from the free throw line, and those were huge, Tom.
Folks, playing in this tournament, playing against this competition as a sophomore, when you don't get a lot of minutes, I'm telling you right now, that kid played as best as I've seen a sophomore play in this tournament. Period. Bar none.
Yeah.
He handled the ball against full court pressure. They couldn't get the ball away from him. He was visualizing the court out there. He's seen everybody. He was getting it to Stevie. He was getting it to Willie. He was getting it to Schomer. And he didn't back down from anybody. That's rare to see.
Yeah, for him to come out, he struggled. We'll call it struggle this year so far in the sense of pure confidence. I
agree.
I personally played with him many times. His confidence level is off the charts when he's playing the game of basketball because he knows how good of handles he has. He knows he can hit that 3-pointer and hit free throws like nobody's business. But today he was confident, and he played, I think, the entire second half.
Yes, he did.
I think he came in. I don't have that stat. We don't keep minutes here. But I think he played the entire second half.
And folks, for a guy that, I'll say it again, that doesn't get a lot of minutes, he didn't get winded. He did not get. It's full court press.
And I'll tell you what, that's a credit to obviously Dylan, but it's a credit to Coach Tollefson. These guys are in shape. These guys
can play.
They're ready to play ball, no matter if their number's called or not. They are ready to go. They're ready to go.
But I want to give credit to Kaneland, folks. I know Kaneland's a 3A school. That's one of the best 3A schools you're going to see around here, period. They are disciplined. They can shoot. They can dribble. They can pass. And they have about 8 or 9 of them that are interchangeable.
Yep. I wouldn't mind having several of those players to add to our squad, but I wouldn't trade our squad for anything. And Newark gets just another win against a big school. It just continues, Tom.
Big-time players stay up. They show up in big-time games. And
Man.
that's what happened today. Hey, they could have folded down by 11. Jack fouls out. Well, pull the plug. Just wasn't meant to be. But you know what? These kids believe.
They believed. They believed. So Newark's going to be playing, depending on the Genoa-Kingston situation, because Genoa-Kingston's taking on number 1
LP.
LaSalle Peru.
LP.
Now, interesting enough, we play the winner of that game
That we do.
tomorrow at 7 o'clock. I mean, we are prime time.
And you know what, folks?
We're in the Final Four.
There's hopefully there's a couple people.
Tom, we're in the Final Four.
And hey, I said before this game, I said it on Saturday, whoever wins this matchup between Kaneland and Newark will be in the championship game. I just like the teams. Nothing wrong with LP. LP's tough. They're good. But I just like whatever the emotion that both at Newark and Kaneland had, how they're coming off. I just like that. I don't know what it is. I have that feeling. But I'll tell you another thing. For a lot of Newark fans, the last time we played LP, we lost to them in the sectional final down in Bloomington. You had in '68. You had, I think they had Novak. It was my dad's senior year. Drove down to the game. You had Dave Carlson, Dave Thompson, Doug Knutson, Fred Skelton. You had all those guys, and you still have some of these guys that show up to the game.
Those are legends. Those are legends.
You're going to see them. If LP plays, you're going to drink back memories that are 40 to 45 years old. And people, I'm telling you what, this is what this tournament's about.
Yeah, we would really like to see every Newark fan out at this tournament on tomorrow night, 7 o'clock. Again, we don't know. We assume it's going to be played tomorrow at 7.
We assume.
But that means whoever plays may have to play 2 games in one day. They do that for the JV tournament. Could they do that for?
I don't know what's in the bylaw on the law.
Right. I'm sure they have a rule sheet where that has happened, a bus breakdown or weather or weather situation. That was me. I'm sure we've had that. I mean, folks, I don't even know what to say. We've got Rick Tollison coming over here. He's on WSPY right now.
We're going to flag him down. Give about another minute or two. But, folks, this was one of the best games I've seen in 6 years. That goes back to that 2011 team. I'll tell you what, I seen that kind of emotion from them. Now I'm seeing this emotion here.
We're talking to Rick Tollison. Next time we'll ask Miriam Tollison if we can get her to get Rick over here. He said, I got to talk to reporters because all the reporters are waiting for him down below.
Did we just get dissed?
Aren't we a reporter?
I would think so.
So all the reporters are waiting for Rick. I'm sure this is a huge story to write.
I'll be honest with you. I was sweating it there, and I was not giving up on Newark in that third quarter, but I wanted to see if they were going to come out with that fight. That fight I haven't seen all year. That fight going, guess what? Jack's out. Okay, we could go cry about this, cry about the ref doing this. They didn't. They just said, okay, put the chin strap on. We're going out there. It's all or nothing. And you did it with underclassmen. Underclassmen.
You better believe it. I mean, I'm just in not disbelief, but I'm in awe of the poise of our Norseman team. I mean, Dylan Patrick, Stevie McGrath, Schomer,
Schmitty. Those guys stepped up.
Okay, we expect it actually from Willie, don't we?
I do.
We've come to expect that this junior, who's an all-state, definitely got to be an all-stater, that this junior, you know what, he started since he was a freshman. He can handle
He's used to the pressure.
But it's probably sad that we get too used to it. But he does a tremendous job of leading the team. But you know what I want to point out, Tom? I name all those guys. Big Jack Clausel. You talk about true leadership. Big Jack on the bench.
Oh.
Now, he led. He's in the huddles. He's calling out plays with coach. I mean, that's like the Peyton Manning sitting on the bench.
He could have packed it in, put the towel on his head, sit at the end of the bench, but you know what? He didn't. You're right about that, Phil. And the thing, hey, I'm probably the hardest on Jack. I know he lives just a block away from me. I've seen those kids get raised. I know that his dad can be hard on him and all this stuff. He could have packed it in. He says, I'm an all-stater. I don't need to do this. I just got shafted out here. He didn't.
Nope.
That's when you know you got a team that can be special. The special word. You hate using the special word.
Yeah, but you got to use it. And I'll tell you what, I know these kids personally. These kids spend hours and hours with each other off of the basketball court. Almost each evening, if they don't have family things, they are with each other. And that builds a continuity, a trust factor that you can't replace. You can't build that fake. That can't be something you build artificially. It's got to happen with the team and with those players, and they did it. They have built this continuity.
It's called the it factor.
It's the it factor. They
you don't teach that.
Norseman moved to a record of 11-1. 11-1 or 12-1? 11-1.
We're 11-1.
We have 11 straight wins. Norseman outscored them 21-16 in the fourth quarter. 21-16. It was tied after the first quarter. Norseman were down 1 at halftime. Kaneland went up, but Norseman came back right there at the very end. I think Norseman were down 11
We're
with
down
2
11
minutes.
11 points
with
with 2
minutes left in the third quarter.
And you got Willie sitting on the bench.
Willie's on the bench.
And then Jack comes, joins him.
Jack gets his 5th foul. Willie has 4 fouls at that time.
But you know what sparked it? Dylan getting the ball to Stevie in the corner, buries the 3 with no time left. We get down by 5. I said, you get it within 5 or 6.
The Norseman girls, the Lady Norseman, we just got word. We've got Coach Barb Scott here. Hey, let's give Coach Barb Scott the headset here. She's coming on, asking not to. And we're going to let Tom out of here. We'll talk to Barb just for a second. Come on in here, Barb. We'll take the headset off. Tom moved out, so we're in good shape. Come on in here, Barb. Sneak in here. Hey, Coach Tollison dissed us for the other reporters.
Oh, no.
He said he had to do some reporters, but we've got Coach Barb Scott here. So tell us what you just announced, Coach.
Okay, so our game tonight at 8 o'clock has been forfeited. Hampshire is not coming, so we advance to the semifinals tomorrow night at 8 o'clock in Lisle.
That's tremendous. So
yes,
both Norseman teams are in the semifinals.
You got it.
That's unbelievable. Who'd you play the other night?
We played Lisle and won by 9.
Nice. Tell us about that game. What happened?
It was a very close game. We had the lead throughout most of it. In the fourth quarter, they took the lead with about 6 minutes to go, and we battled back and won it at the free throw line at the end. Kelsey Zitt went 6 for 7 from the line. Jasmine had a huge game inside with 23, and we got it. So
That's tremendous. That's great to see. Now tell us, you've been watching a lot of basketball. You've watched a lot of basketball in your career. You've watched a lot of Plano Christmas Classic games. Tell us where this game ranks in all of that.
Oh, this one is right up there, Phil. And this was special. I mean, when you think we had a lot of stuff going against us with all the fouls, and I thought players came off the bench and just stepped up at huge times, and I thought it showed a humongous team effort to be able to win that game with some starters on the bench, and everybody contributed, and it was huge.
Now, Norsemen were down with, we believe, 2:01 left. We don't have that confirmed, but we think it was 2:01 left in the third quarter. They were down 11.
11, yep.
Jack is fouled out at this point.
Yep.
Willie's on the bench with 4 fouls.
Yep.
And we come back and pull it within 5 points on that three-pointer. Remember, Schmitty drove baseline and threw it over to Stevie. Stevie hit his second of 2 3-point attempts and makes.
Yep.
And, I mean, momentum shifted at that moment.
It did. Steve had a couple huge ones. Dylan Patrick hit a huge 3. I mean, we didn't fold. I mean, that's basically what it was. They could have literally folded, and it could have been over, and they did not. And to win a game like that is huge in this tournament. It was awesome.
It was fantastic. A huge 3A school like that where they're nearing 4A status on their size. Just tremendous to see. Cameron Meyer had only 2 shot attempts in the entire game. Came in, did what he needed to do, didn't make mistakes. Schmitty comes in. You know he's going to give you 180% if he has it.
He's all out effort.
And he has no conscience. He doesn't care. He's not worried about anything. He doesn't show emotion either way. And then you have Dylan Patrick, the sophomore, who literally I think came out of his shell today.
He did. It was huge. It's got to be a huge confidence booster for him.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, at big stage, tons of pressure. Yeah, he stepped up big tonight, and Evan did too. Made that big 2 at the end. I don't know what time that was.
Evan
but that
with
was
the putback was huge. We call that as a man-child play where he became the man-child, and 55 fouled out at that moment. Shortly after, 22 fouled out fouling Dylan, and we hit him when we needed him at the end. Just tremendous to see. Just tremendous to see. I'm so thankful. And good luck to you guys. So you play tomorrow night?
Tomorrow night at 8 o'clock.
Tomorrow night at 8 o'clock.
Yep, so we'll be cheering for the boys while we're in Lyle.
We think the Norsemen are going to play tomorrow at 7. We don't know. If you didn't hear, Genoa Kingston.
I saw that. What are they doing with that game?
We haven't got a report yet.
Okay.
So they're playing LP today, or they were supposed to, and the winner of that plays us tomorrow at 7. So there is a chance that they'll may play 2 games in one day.
Yeah,
that would be a huge disadvantage, but we do that in the JV level, and I'm sure the rules are already written, what we do and don't do. But
I think our boys will be ready regardless. It's going to be fun.
They're going to be ready. Well, good luck,
Phil.
Coach.
Thank
we
you.
appreciate you here.
Yep.
All right. We've got Coach Rick Tollison here. Coach, you're in the Final Four.
Yeah, that was quite a game. I just couldn't be more proud of those boys. Everything was against us. We couldn't make a free throw. Jack was fouled out. Will had 4, down 11, and I don't think there probably was anyone that thought that we were going to maybe pull this out, but the kids just kept fighting and staying at it, and like I said, that's a lesson on just perseverance and staying at it, and looking for any break you can get. And even when we got up 6, and then the kid hit 7 points in 2 possessions, we kept at it. And so I just couldn't be more proud to coach these kids. Great heart.
Yeah, unbelievable. It was just north of 2 minutes left in the third quarter. You're down 11. Big Jack fouls out. Willie's on the bench with 4 fouls. And all of a sudden, you just start going at it fundamentally. You start plugging away. And then Tom Ness is here, and he's like, we could pull it within 5. We could pull it within 5. You lose the ball. They have the ball with like 40 seconds left in the half, and we're thinking, oh, we're not going to pull it within 5. They do some sort of turnover or miss. We get the ball. Schmitty drives baseline, tosses it to Stevie. Stevie hits that three-pointer from the bottom right corner at the buzzer. Momentum change.
Yeah, all that was planned. That's how we do it. That was how we scripted it. If you go look at my clipboard, that's exactly.
I'm sure there was a lot of lines.
Jack was going to be our decoy on the bench, and we tried to get Willie out of the game. It's just one of those things. Like I said, the kids just kept playing. And we had a couple timeouts. I told them we're going to go 55, which is our full court, get after it. If they're going to beat us, let's at least put up a fight and let's not lay down, because that easily could have become a 20-point game.
You bet.
The kids could have put their heads down and said, hey, it's a good team. Kaneland is an outstanding team, best team we've played, I think, by far.
Definitely better than Rockford Jefferson. They are a real nice ball club, and great to see that win. I want to comment about several of the players, but first I want to comment about Jack Clausel. That is leadership, what he did. He fouls out of the game, and he's in there alongside of you, calling plays, in the huddles, talking to players, standing to his feet. Tom said he could have just put a towel over his head and sat there and been like, man, I just fouled out. But he continued to have heart.
Jack's such a great kid. It's just a great kid to have on the team. Last year when he had the foot, he was in the same role, and he was excited. as excited about anyone when we won games and got to the sectional finals. And tonight, I mean, there wasn't anybody celebrating more than Jack. He's just a great teammate, outstanding kid. Just a real pleasure to have him on a team. He's a consummate team player. He wants us to do well regardless of what he does.
Yeah, Willie obviously, we have confidence. We have probably too much confidence in Willie because he's been under this pressure so many times. We've seen how he handles it. But so kudos to Willie. But you have people like Dylan Patrick sneaking in there. We think he played the entire second half. He came in the second quarter and then he stayed. I'm not sure if that's true. Maybe he started with the starters in the second half. But, I mean, he had a huge game, only 8 points. But those were big. It was a huge confidence boost, I'm sure, for him. He didn't care who was guarding him. I assume you called this play a one-on-one play where you cleared out and let the sophomore go at it, and he scored.
Now, Dylan, as far as an individual one-on-one player, I don't think there's anybody better. You know, Willie's a little bit longer, maybe has some more assets that way, but as far as just getting to the hole, knowing what to do, Dylan has it. And so he's starting to feel himself, you know, understanding the defense. Even on our 31, you know, he was the right position. You know, as he starts to really get those minutes, you know, he's a player. I mean, and what he did tonight, we put the ball in his hands, said, look, you know, they're really good defenders. They were jumping the passes, so we're just going to clear out, force the help, and see what happens. And, you know, we run our fist play an awful lot. We trust our guards, make good decisions. Kids are rotating. If they help, somebody's going to be open. We got spot ups and we got a big. So the kids, Dylan just was, what a tremendous game. I mean, outstanding. He's a player.
Yeah, and with the addition of Dylan, that gives you 3 guys that you can go one-on-one with and create anything depending on the scenario of the game. And so many other things start opening up when you do those things. Let's talk about Evan Schomer. I think Tom called it a man-child play when he got that putback at the end there to foul 55 out. That was just huge. He came in, and he wasn't showing a lot of emotion in the first half, and he started showing emotion in that second half, especially after that 3.
Evan's just a kid that doesn't oftentimes get a lot of press. You know, you have Jack and you have Will. But Evan's just he's a blue-collar kid that works hard. He gets rebounds, tremendous shooter. He can do a lot of things quick, jumps well, and just outstanding. Again, no quit in his heart. Did some good things tonight.
He's unbelievable. Now, our player of the game is Stevie McGrath. I mean, Steve's
a hockey player in a basketball uniform.
Oh, my goodness, I know. And he's got a 6-foot frame. You have no idea what to expect. He doesn't lose the ball much. He controls the tempo of the game. You can trust him with the ball in his hand because he's going to make a smart decision. And he just took control of this game. 18 points, just shy of 20. That's his highest of the year. He was outstanding today all around, offense and defense.
Steve is that kid that, boy, every coach just wants on his team. He doesn't have to get his 20 points. He doesn't have to do anything spectacular. He's a great defender. He absolutely 100 grade A instincts in the game.
Right.
Great defender. Just does everything well and handles the ball. You know, he's really coming to his own as far as handling the ball. He can go on a fist. He can blow by about anybody. He's real quick. On that runner, that floater, he's as good as anybody I've ever coached. Even Kyle, you know, Steve he's able to do that.
Right.
Kyle would just go for the dunk, but you know, he's just got a lot of skills and determination, a lot of heart. So
yeah, for a team you shot 61.9% from the field. That's significantly better. 70% from 2-point land. You shot 12 threes. You made 5 of them. That's a 41.7%. And then your Achilles heel, 9 of 18 from the free throw line. If we talk about a negative, that's definitely one of the negatives. And we missed, I think, 3 front ends.
That hurt us big. You know, that into quarter of the play where Willie kind of dribbled the ball and tried to do a crossover and lost it, and they went down, got a layup, and then at the second quarter, though, we missed 2 front ends of one-on-ones.
Right towards the end, yep.
That hurt you, but you know, that's the stuff that as a team, this stuff just keeps building character. You know, that happens. You can't force the ball into the rim.
That's
Hopefully
right.
we do make them. We'd like to. But each time, you just got to suck it up and say, okay, we got to get the ball back. We got to do something else to make up for that. And that's what our kids do. They just fight. And
yeah,
I just really appreciate the heart they play with.
We ended with 14 rebounds. That's the lowest of the year this year for total rebounds. Just not a lot of times. The ball's going in the hole for them. It wasn't super high scoring. and we only had 4 offensive rebounds, one of those being the huge one with Evan on the putback.
Kaneland's, I mean, you're playing against men. Those kids are strong.
They were very strong.
They block out. I mean, you get an offensive board, you got to fight like crazy and hope that the ball bounces your way. They're just a very solid team, very strong at every position. And so that's a major game. That's a good high school game in which you've got a lot of bang and a lot of heart, a lot of effort to get anything done.
We ended with 11 turnovers. My viewpoint is 12 and under, and you're in a good situation. And this is the most we've had in several games. We've been under 10 for several games in a row, but to only have 11 turnovers against a very well-disciplined, good basketball club, 3A team like that's to me speaks volumes. And a couple of those were no-brainers. Like we had Dylan on a curl, and he threw on a thinking he was going to fade. Stevie did one time, and it was just a miscommunication. But we don't have many of those.
No, our kids, they pressed virtually the whole game, at least token pressure it.
Right.
There was always a guy guarding our guy bringing it up, and we do a real nice job. Seeing Dylan step up tonight, Schmidt can handle the ball, being able to handle that ball, being able to keep your composure during the press, and especially when you get down 11. As I called that timeout, I said, guys, listen to them. They were getting loud. You can tell the momentum was totally theirs. I said, this game's over unless we take it back. And the kids really did that.
And we took it back. So this gets really interesting, Coach. So right now we have Salmonok versus, I don't even know who this is.
Oh, we don't play the winner of this?
You don't play the winner. Who is this? I don't even know.
Coal City and Salmonok.
Okay, Coal City.
They had a leak in the other gym.
So Genoa Kingston calls in, and due to weather, they can't play. So you're playing the winner of Genoa Kingston versus LaSalle Peru. We haven't got the word up here yet. What is the official rule? Do they play tomorrow morning, and they have to play 2 games?
That's what they talked to me before our game, whether we were going to cancel the whole quarterfinal series. And I said, the Kaneland coach and I got together, and I said, we're here. It was about 3 o'clock. Our fans are probably on the road, so we probably should play. I would feel bad, though, if other teams had to play tomorrow, and then they've got potentially 2 games to play in one day. So I'm not sure exactly how they're going to handle that.
Right. I haven't heard any word about any other team canceling, only Genoa Kingston. Have you heard anything else?
Well, I think they're going to play the Aurora Christian game after the. I'm not sure the schedule, but I think Aurora Christian's going to play.
They play Burlington
tonight,
Central,
and then who is the other?
They're scheduled. They're scheduled at 8:30. Then we've got Ottawa versus Dixon. That's going to be a battle.
Yeah,
they're scheduled at 7 o'clock tonight.
I think they're only going to play one of those, but I'm not sure. You have to check with the officials here.
Wow. I mean that could be an interesting storyline. I mean that could change things.
Yeah.
Quite a bit if teams have to play 2 games in one day. I mean, advantage us, advantage Aurora Christian, Burlington Central, whoever comes out of that. If that's the case, you hate to see that at any point, though. But, Coach, you made it to the Final Four of one of the best tournaments in the state of Illinois from our vantage point. That was your biggest win of the year.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, I have my own doubts, when we were getting down 11. And I always just tell the kids, let's make sure they understand they played Newark, and let's give it all we got. Let's don't lay down. And like I said, that's a clinic. I should keep that video and show every team that I ever coached from here on out. This is what you do when things aren't going the right way. This is how you handle that. And the kids, the whole community, I'm sure is very proud of our kids and the team and the effort they put forth tonight.
We are beyond proud. It's good to be a Norseman. We appreciate it, Coach. Good luck to you. Maybe tomorrow night, we think. We don't know. But we'll see. Maybe 7 o'clock tomorrow night. That means prime time for you guys.
Maybe they'll just give us the first place trophy.
You know what? We'd be okay with that, I think.
I think if you come back from 11 with Jack on the bench, you just automatic.
It should be automatic. But we appreciate it. We hope everybody is being safe out there. This is Phil Chapman for Norseman Basketball. We'll be signing off, and we'll be communicating with everything as we find out.